Have you ever noticed that the people who are supposed to make you feel safest can sometimes make you feel the smallest? Daniel noticed it every Sunday evening. He would drive to his parents' house, sit at the same wooden table, eat the same food, answer the same questions, and smile at the same jokes that never really felt like jokes. Nothing dramatic happened there. No one screamed, no one threw anything. But every time Daniel left, he felt like a little more of himself had been erased. On the outside, his family looked normal. His mother asked if he was eating enough. His father asked about work. His aunt compared him to other cousins, but always with a laugh at the end, as if the laugh made it harmless. And Daniel laughed too, because that was his role. The one who stayed calm, the one who did not make things awkward, the one who swallowed discomfort so the room could stay comfortable. For years, he thought this was maturity. Then one night, his father said, "You have so much potential. I just wish you would stop wasting it." The room went quiet. Then the conversation continued. But Daniel did not. Suddenly he was 12 years old again, standing in the living room with a report card in his hand, hearing almost the same sentence. Good, but not good enough. Again and again, the same message had followed him through life. Same wound. On the drive home, Daniel realized something that scared him. Maybe he was not reacting to one comment. Maybe he was reacting to 20 years of being made to feel unfinished. That was the first crack in the story he had always believed. Because Daniel had always thought, maybe I am too sensitive. But what if sensitivity was not the problem? What if his nervous system had simply learned the pattern before his mind had the courage to name it? The brain is not just a thinking machine. It is a prediction machine. It studies your past to prepare you for the future. If a place has hurt you many times, your body may become tense before anything happens. If love has often come with judgment, your brain may start treating closeness as danger. That is why Daniel felt anxious before family dinners. Nothing had happened yet, but his body remembered what his mind kept trying to forgive. This is one reason family pain is so confusing. When a stranger hurts you, you can call it disrespect. When a family member hurts you, you start negotiating with yourself. Maybe they did not mean it. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe this is just how they love. And yes, families can be messy. But there is a difference between imperfect love and a pattern that slowly teaches you to abandon yourself. Daniel did not understand that difference for a long time, so he did what many people do. He became useful. If his mother was upset, he softened his voice. If his father criticized him, he explained. If his brother mocked him, he laughed first so nobody could see it hurt. If there was tension in the room, Daniel absorbed it. Psychologists often call this people-pleasing. But people-pleasing is not always about being nice. Often, it is a survival strategy. A child learns, if everyone is happy, I am safe. Then that child becomes an adult who treats every disappointed face like an emergency. Daniel was not weak. He had just been trained to confuse approval with safety. Once he saw that, something inside him shifted. He stopped asking, why can't I handle my family? He started asking, what role am I playing here? The next Sunday, Daniel went back. Same house, same table, same voices. But this time he promised himself he would not try to fix the whole room. He would only watch. His mother mentioned a cousin who had just bought a house. His father asked if Daniel had thought about finding a more serious job. His brother joked that Daniel was always figuring life out. Daniel felt the old reaction rise, explain, defend, smile, make them understand. His chest tightened. His mind searched for the perfect sentence to prove he was not a disappointment. Then he noticed what was happening. He was not having a conversation. He was taking an exam. And the impossible part was this. The people grading him kept changing the rules. So Daniel did something small. When his father asked, don't you think you should be further ahead by now? Daniel did not explain his entire life. He simply said, I understand you see it that way. Then he continued eating. The room felt strange. His brother looked at him, waiting for the usual reaction. Daniel's heart was pounding, but he stayed quiet. Not angry, just quiet. In that silence, Daniel discovered something powerful. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. For the first time, he did not grab the rope, and because he did not grab it, no one could pull him into the same old fight. But freedom did not feel good immediately. On the way home, Daniel felt guilty. His mind attacked him with questions. Was I disrespectful? Did I sound arrogant? Should I call and explain? Maybe they are right. Then another thought came. What if guilt is not always a sign that you did something wrong? What if guilt is sometimes just the feeling of breaking an old pattern? The brain loves familiarity, even when it hurts. A painful role can feel safer than freedom, simply because the role is known. That is why healing often feels uncomfortable at first. You are not only changing your behavior, you are teaching your nervous system that safety no longer requires self-betrayal. After that night, Daniel did not cut off his family. He did not make a dramatic speech. He did not decide they were all villains. He simply changed the way he showed up. First, he stopped entering family conversations already empty. If he was tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained, he did not force himself to answer every call. He called back later. He kept some visits shorter. He gave himself time afterward to return to his own thoughts. Boundaries do not begin when someone crosses a line. They begin with knowing how much energy you have. Second, Daniel stopped over-explaining. For most of his life, he believed every decision needed a defense. Why he chose that job, why he needed space. But long explanations often became openings for more criticism. So he practiced shorter sentences. That does not work for me. I am not talking about this tonight. I have already made my decision. At first, those sentences felt harsh, but slowly they became peaceful. Not because everyone liked them, because Daniel could finally hear himself inside them. Third, he stopped measuring his worth through their reactions. This was the hardest part. If his mother looked disappointed, Daniel used to feel like a bad son. If his father approved, he felt successful for a few hours. If his brother joked, Daniel questioned himself for days. His emotional thermostat lived inside other people. So he began asking a new question. Can I respect myself after this choice? That question became a doorway, because approval depends on who is watching. Self-respect follows you home. Months passed. His family did not magically transform. Some comments still hurt. Some dinners were still uncomfortable. Some people still preferred the old Daniel, the one who laughed at pain and called it peace. But Daniel was different, not louder, stronger in a quiet way. A sentence could still sting, but it no longer controlled his whole week. A disappointed look could still hurt, but it no longer decided his identity. He started to understand that love and access are not the same thing. You can love someone and still protect your peace. You can care about your family and still refuse to absorb every emotion in the room. You can appreciate what people gave you and still reject the pain they passed down. One afternoon, Daniel visited his mother alone. As he stood near the door, she said, "You don't come around like you used to." The old Daniel would have apologized immediately. He would have blamed work. He would have promised to do better. But this time, he paused. Then he said gently, "I love this family, but sometimes I leave here feeling smaller than when I came in. I am trying not to live that way anymore." His mother did not know what to say. There was no perfect ending, no sudden apology, no emotional music, just silence. But Daniel walked home lighter, because the goal had never been to make everyone understand him. The goal was to stop abandoning himself in order to be understood. That is where healing begins. Not when they finally change, not when they apologize, not when the past becomes fair. Healing begins when you stop waiting for painful people to become safe before you choose safety for yourself. If you see yourself in Daniel, remember this: you are not selfish for needing distance. You are not dramatic for being hurt by repeated patterns. You are not ungrateful for wanting basic respect. And you are not broken because family pain affects you deeply. It affects you deeply because family was supposed to matter. But what shaped you does not have to own you. Your family may have written your first chapter, but they do not get to write every page after that. Today, ask yourself one question. What role have I been playing for years that I'm finally ready to stop playing? The peacekeeper, the fixer, the quiet one, the one who explains, the one who absorbs everything. Whatever it is, you are allowed to put it down. Not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally decided to stop losing yourself. And sometimes the bravest thing you will ever do is not walking away from your family. It is walking away from the version of yourself that believed love had to be earned.